This is Dana with Dana Digital Tutorials, and today I'm going to show you how to work with your sticker packs. We're going to get started here with a sticker pack that I had created all at once by an AI generator. So these stickers are on a purple background. Sometimes they will be on a white background. That does make it harder to do this tutorial. So I recommend, instead of telling it to isolate on a white background, you tell it to isolate on a colored background. Doesn't matter what color, you just want it to be different than the white. So when we're working with sticker packs and doing this particular tutorial, we want to make sure we do have that white shape around it all the way around every single image. And you'll see here this one is missing some of the white. It will not work on this sticker, so we're going to want to use our brush tool first. We're going to go over to the brush tool, which is right here. You can push B. And we want to make sure that our hardiness is all the way up. And then we want to hover over and kind of use your brackets, your closed and open brackets, until you get that about the same size as the rest of the border. You can see it's a little different in different places, so this doesn't have to be 100% perfect. The next thing we want to do is we want to use our picker tool by clicking this little color box and just picking the white down here next to where we're going to paint. The reason we're doing that instead of just choosing white is because if this white is a little different, we want to make sure that it matches. So then we're just going to use our brush tool and we're going to come in here and we're going to make that match. And if I make a mistake, I'm just going to hit Command or Control Z and I'm just going to come back in here and paint. You don't need to worry about creating that the little shadow down here. We're going to get rid of that. So we're just going to paint it until we have it the way we want. We do want to make sure that we go all the way into our little bat and that we don't have any purple areas. Now that that is done, and if I wanted to further fix it, I could spend time on that, but I'll let you do that on your stickers. We're going to focus on the tutorial today, is we want to make sure that we're set up. We want to unlock our background if it's locked. Depends on where you download this from, whether it's locked or not. And then we want to go to the magic wand tool. That's right up here. You can hit W to get to it quickly. If you don't see it, you might see one of these other little icons. And if you click and hold, you can get back to your magic wand. So we're just going to come in and we're going to click all of these whites. But I did forget to mention that you want to make sure you're on Add to Selection and that your tolerance is about 10. I find that's about correct to pick all the white without going into the purple. It is okay if it goes into the sticker. So if you have like a white area in here that's not separated by black, it is not going to hurt this tutorial for it to do that. We just want to keep it off the background. So we're just going to make sure we select all of these. And by having that add to selection, this is done very quickly. Because this black here also has white around it and there's nothing dividing the white, we only have to click once and we're going to get those all selected. And I can see here I missed my bat, so I'll go back and select him. So the next step here is to hit Command or Control J. And what that's done is it's created a second layer right here. And if I hide the under layer, you can see that it's got my white outlines on its own layer. Now it hasn't deleted them from this one, so if I hide that, it's just made a copy. So now we're going to work on selecting the stickers themselves. So if I click, and I want to stay on this layer here, if I click here, you're going to see it does a perfect selection. It's no longer picking by the color of the orange, even though you see it, because I have sample all layers off. It's instead selecting the blank area on this white outline area. So I'm just going to keep doing that until I get all of my stickers selected. You will have to go back into this one down here and you will have to select those areas that were kind of by themselves. So if your stickers have breaks in them, you're going to want to select these areas as well. So now that I've done that, We have selected for the most part the entire sticker on the inside of the white, but sometimes when there's kind of a feathered effect or a fuzzy edge, this might not get everything. So a quick way to do that is I could have increased my tolerance, but I also, which I find easier because I don't have to go back and forth, is I can go to filter. I'm sorry, I said filter. I can go to select, modify, expand. Now, if you have not upscaled these images already, you're only going to want to do 1 to 2 pixels. I have upscaled this, so I'm going to do 5 pixels to make sure that it expands enough for me. And what that is doing is it's going into the white areas, which is what I want. I want to make sure I don't have any gaps between the white and the actual sticker itself, because I want to make sure that it is a cohesive design. Now that I've done that, I'm going to come over to my layers panel, and if you don't see your layers panel, by the way, you would just click Windows and click on Layers. And if you still don't see it, it's probably just a little icon over here. So now that I'm on this layer, I'm going to Command or Control J again. And then you're going to be able to see that I have isolated my stickers very quickly on their own background. It doesn't take but a minute, and you'll be able to do that. I'm going to put them back together, so this is my outline. If I hide that, you can see the stickers are by themselves, and because the edges were fairly, harsh, that it did a really good job. If I'd have changed the tolerance, I would have gotten more of this white area than it did get, and I would have been able to use my stickers this way, but I kind of like the white, so I'm going to leave the white. So I'm going to push that back on, and then I'm going to select those 2 layers, and I'm going to hit Command or Control E. You could have also gone up into your layers panel and merged the layers that you had selected. And now that that's done, we don't need this background anymore, so we could either change it to white, or in my case, I just press delete. And by the way, if your delete key doesn't work, it's probably because you have marching ants somewhere on your screen, and you'll need to make sure everything is deselected. So these stickers are ready to go. If you would like to have them all saved individually, you can do that. You would have to use your lasso tool, so you hit L for lasso. It's right up here. You can be either on the selection brush or the circle or any one of these. It doesn't matter, they just act a little different. So the selection just allows you to draw a quick line. The lasso, I don't know the difference between the two. I more just hit J to actually make my selections usually. And then this will draw straight lines. So if you kind of want to just go quickly and draw straight lines, you can do that. And this is going to try to find the area that is most likely what you're trying to select, and it's going to magnetize to that area. But for today, so here's the difference. So this, I would just I forgot they just added this. I would just do this, and you don't even have to draw all the way around inside of it. You would just have to select, but I don't really care for it. So I'm going to undo that, and I'm going to go back into my lasso tool, and I'm going to just draw a line around him, and then I'm going to Command J, and maybe I'll come over to my layers, and I'm going to name him Orange Ghost, or whatever it is that I want to name him. Now if I want to save these as individual files, instead of Command J here, I would have gone into a new folder. Now also, let's hide him. Because I did a Command J, I made a copy of him. But if I wanted to take him off of this background instead of just making a copy of him, what I would have done instead is, let me undo that. We'll go back a couple steps, is I would have done Edit, Cut, which is also Command or Control X. So we're going to go Command for me, Control X, and then Control V, or Command V for a Mac. And now you can see it put him in the middle. I can just drag him back up here, but it's done the same thing, but now he's no longer on this layer. So if you wanted to do it that way, you could. I find it just easier to Command J and then delete the bottom layer. It's all up to you. But if you wanted this to be in its own document, you would then want to go, once you have it on your clipboard, which it is still on my clipboard, I just go New, It's going to automatically suggest a size based on my clipboard. I can hit OK, and I can Command V or Control V for Windows. So now he is by himself. I can see that I do have a soft edge around him. If I wanted to get rid of that, we can use that Modify Selection tool just like we did before. So if you hold down your Command or your Control button and you hover over the picture and you click, it's going to select the outer edges, and I can go to Select, I can go to Modify, I can go to Contract, and I think that's really just like 1 pixel, so I'll hit 1 pixel. But if I hit Delete here, I'm deleting my subject. So instead, I want to go to Select, Inverse, learn your shortcuts because this will go really fast. Inverse, and now I've selected everything but my subject, so just the 1 pixel around, and I'm just going to hit the Delete key. And then I'm going to hit Command D to get rid of it, and now you can see that little white outer edge is, or the little dark outer edge is gone. If I hide my background, he is isolated. If I wanted to keep him isolated, I would want to at least have this hidden. Your file size will be smaller though if you delete it and you have it like that. And then you would go to File, Save As, which is right here. File, Save As, I do the shortcut. And then you would want to change this type to PNG if it's not already there. You would want to name it, so Orange Ghost. And now this is isolated as its own file, and I would be able to use this. Now, what if I started with stickers that were already their own files, and I wanted to create a sticker sheet, and I want it to look like this. So let me show you how to do that. It doesn't matter if you have anything open or not. You can just come up here to File, Automate, Contact Sheet. Now, a few things about the contact sheet. You can specify the size of your sheet. So in this case, I've done 3x4, which is a common sticker sheet size. I have told it that it's 300 dpi or pixels per inch. That term is interchangeable. And I have unchecked my flatten layers box. I know that I have 12 stickers, so I chose to do 3 across and 4 up and down. If I wanted my sticker sheet to be 4x3, I would have probably done 4 across and 3 up and down, but this is all done. You want to use the auto spacing, you'll leave that on. We could rotate them for the best fit. You could see how that works, but I'm going to leave them unrotated for this. And you could also name each one of these. That's part of the contact sheet, but I don't want to name them for this. The next thing you're going to do once you've got all this set up is you're going to come up here, and we're going to leave include some folders unchecked, and you're going to find your folder where your stickers are. You cannot select individual images within a folder, so you'll want to make sure your stickers for this pack are all isolated in a single folder with just those stickers. So we have this selected. We're going to hit Open. And now we're just going to hit OK. It's very quick. These are fairly small. If they were larger, it might take a little bit longer. And there's my sticker pack. Now, the nice thing by hitting unchecking the flatten box is you'll see every single one of my stickers are already on their own layer and they have a mask. You can right click and apply these masks if you don't want to worry about them, but you can leave them as well. The downside here is that it is going to size all of your images the same, even if that image was supposed to be smaller. So if you wanted to make it smaller, if you come over here and you click on your sticker, you'll need to make sure you have auto select checked. If not, you'll have to manually figure out which one it is over here. I personally like the auto select. And then you're going to hit Command or Control T. That's going to bring up your little drag transform squares. And then you can just change the size. If you come outside the box, you could rotate it. So if I wanted to put him like that and I wanted to bring him up here, I could. And I could keep doing this until I have my sticker sheet just the way I want it. Once I'm done with that, I can either save this as a PSD with all the layers so that I could go back in and maybe change the cat out easily, or I can just flatten this. If I wanted a clear background and my stickers are already on their own, they're already isolated, I can hide the background and now you can see they're on a transparent layer. The problem here is that this one was not. So if I want to fix that, I would just hit my wand key for W for wand. I would select these white areas. I can see that my tolerance is not high enough. Let me zoom in so that you can see. So I'm going to have to work on my tolerance, or I'm going to have to do what I did before, select the white area and Command J and select the inner area and Command or Control J and put them back together. So it's all up into how you want to do it, but you can work on getting this one isolated. If you don't want these white areas in this spider, you can just come in here. If you've set your tolerance the right way, you play back and forth. The lower it is, the closer to your selection it's going to stay in its color choice. The larger it is, the more variance it's going to go outside of your color choice. Now, if you'll notice, it actually selected everything but this sticker, and that is because I was still on that layer. So Command D, I'm going to hit V for my move tool, which is up here, and I'm going to click on it. And then I'm going to hit W to go back into my wand tool, and I'm just going to start clicking these white areas. Now, I'm leaving the contiguous on even though I have to click a whole bunch of times, because if I didn't, this white area in the spider is going to also be selected. So in this case, I am going to have to manually go in here and select each one of these areas, and then I can just hit delete and they go away. And I would just keep going until I get it the way that I want. Now that we're done, we know that our image is the way we want it. I'm not going to do all of that on here. We're going to come down here. If we want it on a transparent background, we can just delete this background. If we want it on a white background, we can just turn it back on and it will be on a white background. But for me, I'm just going to delete it. And then we can come up here. If we go to Layer, Flatten, let me show you what happens. We now have our white background back. And that is because when the layer is locked, it has to have a pixel in every single dot. So if I undo that and instead I come up, I can go to Layer, Merge Visible. It's going to merge all the visibles in one spot into one layer and keep my background transparent. But if I had hidden layers on this, so let me undo that and show you what happens. So let's say this layer was hidden and I go to Layer, Merge Visible. That layer didn't get merged because it was hidden. So if I wanted to delete this layer, I could just delete it, but if I meant to include it, I can show it. And a quick way to merge the top layer to the next layer is Command or Control E, and now it's on my layer. I hope this tutorial helps you work with stickers a little bit easier. This is Dana with Dana Digital Tutorials. Have a great day.